Great day, great day, great day. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to the room. Hey. All right. So I see some people are loading. It's 7 o'clock. I wanted to open up the room. So if anyone had questions, we can kick it off. For those of you guys that are new, I am your host, Raquel May David, with my co-host, Mr. Sanchez, and our wonderful, illustrious moderator, JM. If y'all got questions in the chat and my mouth is running too big, JM and David got me. Okay. So we are here on Panda Pro Nights. I'm so thankful that we are in color, just like getting it out there, opening the floor to answer questions about the software, the system, and all of the wonderful things. So I like to start off every call talking about the community. If you guys are in the pro, I'm hoping that you guys are also in the community, in the pro community. We are here. JM, as you can see, is knocking everyone out of the ballpark because he answers a lot. As well as a Dispute Panda team that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. JM is not available 24 hours, 7 days a week. David is not available. But JM be responding like he here every day, all day, y'all. Like all day. Like he don't take no rest. No rest. Hey, I recently joined the pro. How do I join the community? All right, we will drop the link in the chat. Ooh, look, already. Come on, somebody. And you can go ahead and join the community from there. We want to make sure that you have what you need to be a beast in these credit streets. So today is just an open forum. We're going to go, if you have any questions about the platform, how to utilize it, or any questions on letters, we are here to go ahead and support. We don't want to take up a lot of your time, of course, but we want to give you room to ask any necessary questions to dip and do it together. So if anyone has any questions, I am going to open the floor for everyone to speak. Welcome, Hunter, Marcus, G. White, Consultant JC, Barry, and Charles. So does anyone have any questions about the platform, about the flow? Do y'all need to see a letter?
I have a couple questions.
All right, I might have a couple answers. Let's get it.
All right, so the first big question is I had got a couple of responses, but I ain't get no definitive answer. What is going on with Kong Automations?
What do you mean? What's going on with Kong Automations?
So I signed up for Kong Automation. Couldn't get in the pro platform. I sent numerous emails to their support. They have no customer service and never got a response the whole time.
You haven't heard from anyone right now?
Nobody.
All right, let me send an email.
I have the same issue.
With Kong Automation?
Yeah, ever since I signed up, I haven't been able to get a reply. I've emailed support multiple times, like since Thanksgiving.
Okay, can y'all do me a favor and in the chat directly to me, send me your email addresses. I'm going to send a message to
Me too.
our support and have them forward it over to Sean. So if you can send a message directly to me with your email address, I will, come on somebody. Okay, so I think that our support team is aware, but I'm gonna do a follow-up. Thank you. I got one email address right now. Hold on.
Do you want my email just to reply, or the email address I signed up with?
The email address you signed up with would be better so that they know
Okay.
what we're talking about directly. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful.
And let me know when you're ready. I have a question about the platform.
No problem. Go ahead.
I wanted to. I maybe I haven't figured it out yet, but how do you send the debt validation letter because when I click on it, it asks for a bunch of stuff and I don't know where to find it. Like, who am I sending it to and all this other stuff. So can you show us like a example of how to send it, or where would we find the information for the debt validation letter?
Sure. Let me stop sharing my screen. Hold on 1 second. And then, because I need to make sure that I can get to the dispute side. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, cool. So I'm sorry, is G White is also having the same issue that Marcus and Hunter are having?
Yes. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Oh, so that's G White. I'm sorry. So sorry. Marcus and Hunter are both having the same problem that G White is having. Is that correct?
Yes,
Correct.
ma'am.
Okay.
That's just my business email I use to sign up with the program with that I sent you.
Which you're talking about the
G White
one is the one
yeah.
that you got. Okay, cool beans. All right, let me go here. Alrighty, so you're doing a debt validation letter.
Yeah, because I got a response saying it's verified or whatever,
Mhm.
and the client is saying that that it shouldn't be on their profile or whatever. And also I had something verified where I was a authorized something my brother had put me on his card as an authorized user, and then his credit went south and mine did too. I had forgot I was on there, and I had got mine kind of fixed, and then his credit went south, and then I'm trying to get it off of my credit, but it keeps on coming verified. So I wanted to try to use the debt validation to try to, see all of that stuff right there. I was wondering where you find all that stuff.
So you would have to get this information directly from either you can copy the information down from here. So the account number, the address, all of that information is right here, Mella.
Address.
Because that's what it's asking you. So let's go back real quick. And we're going to go to static letters. We're going to click debt validation. And when you scroll down, who's receiving, you'd put the name of the company. The address is listed there. So you would put the actual address, then the city, then the state, then the zip code. And the account number is the reference number that has the truncation. Truncation is those XXXXX. And then what date did you receive the letter from them? If you do not have a specific date, I would use the last credit report that you have, like that you pulled. That would be the date that I would use. And then the amount owed, again, all of that information is viewable on the slab. So if you're doing a debt validation letter, you would only be saving the one account that you're asking to have that debt validated, and all of that information is located at the top.
Oh, so if I have multiple accounts to do that with,
You do it one at a
I
time.
have to do one. Oh, okay. So I was trying to figure. Oh, that's probably why I wasn't working, because okay, I got you now. Yeah, I was trying to do multiple at once. And all right. Well, yeah, that's all the questions I have for now. I'll wait till later.
Okay. Okay, I see this one. Let me copy this email address. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I don't miss these email addresses here, and then I'll be opening the floor again. Give me 1 second, guys. Y'all, my eyes is aging. Hold on. .com. All right. Let's do .com. All right. So you don't need a debt validation. JPhone says you don't need a debt validation letter to remove an account that you're an authorized user for. You need to send the letter directly to the creditor and state that you were not legally responsible party for this account. They stated when they added you as an authorized user, it is not responsible. So I think he was stating that he had multiple debt validation letters that he had to use. And that's why he wanted to go ahead and print it. Neither method is problematic, to be quite honest, but great tip, Jay's iPhone. Any other questions, guys, about the software?
Yeah, I have one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question is, I think I sent JB and developers an email in regards to I'm confused about the free credit text. I know a free credit text it pulls in every time you pull in a client that's using Credit Dino, but I seem to be accumulate a lot of those. I guess my question, if I'm pulling it in and using it at the same time, I shouldn't have 16 to 20 something free credit text available,
It
which
could
I
just
seen.
be that it hasn't cycled through yet. I wouldn't be super alarmed, but you do get credits every 35 days. So if you are pulling them in and in the same day, you are then processing, the free credit should go, but you should, it sometimes it is a lag in that getting updated. Because I have it on this is my dummy account, but on my main account, I've had that happen. And then like 2-3 days later, it updates and cycles through.
Okay, I just thought there was an awful lot to be carrying over, so to speak, if I'm pulling in and using it at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't be too alarmed. Sometimes it's just a system updating, so it will be adjusted. I promise you on the back end, they'll adjust it.
Okay, and then I guess my other question is, like, say, I'm not sure is there a cost per average that's being, I try to be more efficient as running a business as far as how much I'm actually spending
Mhm.
on per clients or whatever. I
Mhm.
guess to me, I just seen that I'm spending an awful lot for the mailing service. Seem like
So did you
because
have a question about that?
well, I guess I'm not sure if anybody else is seeing or thinking the same thing I'm seeing for as when I use the mailing service. Like I said, I'm willing to bet I probably spend anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a month mailing letters out.
So for me, again, what I look at when I'm using the mailing services are several things. So number one, you have to think about the fact that you're paying for someone to stuff your envelopes and for delivery of those envelopes. That's taking all the time on top of the postage.
Yeah,
So if you have enough manpower and you have people that can do it for you, like for me, I pay my kids $10 for them to stuff all my envelopes.
okay,
But that's because they only need $10 to $20, right? But like
yeah, yeah,
if I had to hire someone that would do that for me, it would probably be a little bit more that I would have to pay them to do all
yeah,
these people. So to me, when I look at the price, because I don't do certified, so that's number one. I never use certified in the system. But if you are utilizing the system, you can see man-hour times and see if you would want to go back to just printing it as well. But as far as the overhead for me, it's not problematic for me.
yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do. Cost analysis is problematic for me too, also. Which I mean, I
Mhm.
do understand the cost for the service and those kind of things. But I
Mhm.
guess my concern was, I wasn't sure if I was being charged for some of the attacks, and that's the reason I
Mm-mm.
was being accumulated so many of the free attacks when I import the clients from Credit Dino.
Well, if you were being charged for the attack, then the balance would go and you would see the $17 taken. So have you noticed that the $17 was removed?
No, I guess I didn't need to look at the total activity, but I guess it just seemed to be as many as clients I do seem to be an awful lot. It seemed to be going rather fast, I should say.
Okay, and from the back office message that I got, it does state that they did check your profile and it says here that you were only being charged for letters to be mailed out.
Okay, copy that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is there a way to extract export the client's information into an Excel spreadsheet for campaigning situations?
What do you mean by export?
Export like the contact name, the number, and email address to be able to run different campaigns in into another
That
system
you have
for
in your
us.
software? Yeah, you just have to create a CSV file. You can export your clients in your client list.
You can? Okay.
Mhm.
Thought I tried that earlier one when you.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
having an issue, just contact customer support and ask them to help.
Okay, so I see what you say import, but I don't see an export button up there. That's what.
I think, hold on, because I think you have to do it client by client, but I would say go
Oh,
ahead and reach out to customer support and see if they can create a CSV file for you.
okay.
Okay.
I
Because
appreciate it.
normally the assumption is you already have your client's profile.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're thinking. So you normally have that information when they fill out the lead form. That's probably why it looks that way, but definitely shoot them an email and they'll be able to go ahead and support those.
Okay. Okay. Appreciate it.
No problem. Great question. G White, what questions do you have today?
Yes. So I was looking at the you know how anytime you when you import a new credit report and then you want to check to see what happened last month to see what progress you have made. What's the best way of reading that? Because one document, it has like the little panda bears and it says um not that one, the other way. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, that one. How you read? I mean, no, not
What do
that
you
one.
mean?
Hold on.
How are you reading this information?
Yeah, scroll down a little bit more. A little bit more, because they'll say delete it, but then you have the ones that say not set or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about right here where it says not set, positive or negative?
Yeah. What does it mean by not set? What does that mean?
That means they cannot specify it as a positive or negative profile, but it shows on here they've 100% gotten it deleted. So it's no longer showing as positive or negative. So if it's negative, that means you have delinquency, something that is negatively attached to that particular profile. In this particular case, it's not reading positive or negative because that particular profile was deleted. So if you can see it, it then will identify, is this a positive account or is this a negative account? Does
Gotcha.
that make
So
sense?
so not set means it's not neither. So basically it's neutral. And
Well,
so
not set, if you're looking at the full page, my love, over in details, it's showing that those items are deleted. So they're not categorizing them. But when you scroll down, if let's say those items have been reinserted back into the profile, if you scroll down, so like this right here says AES/Truist Bank. It's also right down here, same account number. It's an installment loan and it's showing up as positive now. So not set, it's possible that it's not showing with that particular credit bureau. Once you get down to where they've actually updated the information, then if it's showing on all 3 credit bureaus, the status will be there. The top part is showing you what the system registered was removed at some point.
gotcha.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
when you're seeing not set, it's if you keep on looking over to the right, it'll show you deleted 100%. So it's not categorizing it. Once you get down to where it's relisted or it's reinserted and it's actually registered, whatever credit bureau it's showing up under, it will then show up what the status is for that particular bureau. Great question.
Yeah, gotcha. And can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
While you're there, can you explain where up top where you was at though? Right.
Up here?
Yeah, the 21, the 7, and the 4.
What questions do you have about this?
I guess the 21 late, that means 21 payments has been updated from late to on-time payment.
No, it could just mean that the status has been updated. It may not have been removed or deleted. You would have to scroll down to look to see if it has been updated to positive or if it has been what the changes specifically are. This one is saying 7 items were completely deleted and it's keeping the tally of the total. And then if anything has been shifted from late to positive specifically, you would be able to see that under the updated to positive.
Okay, copy that.
Great questions. Okay, sorry, Mr. White. What was your other question that you had?
My other question is I'm doing all right with charge-offs. But like bankruptcies and late payments, like I got this one lady account, I got all her charge-offs and collections off, but she has 2 accounts with late payments on there. And what is the best way to do that? Because like if I let the system do it, it's gonna try to delete the account, but we want to keep the account because it got good payment history. It just has 4 late payments within the last few months. So
If the late letter is not generating for you, I need you to go ahead and send that letter to info@disputepanda.com so that they can go ahead and correct it in the system, because the late payment letter verbiage should be live and available. The second thing that I would ask is, did you send a goodwill letter or goodwill verbiage to the CEO of the company for the late payments?
so how do you do that? The goodwill letter? Like I see it, and because all right, so where do you find? I mean, I hear people say that, but where do you find the CEO's email?
Oh, you can go to ceoemail.com, I believe. Hold on. I'm going to find it right now.
Because the
There we
last
go.
letter it had something about I demand you to something, and I was like, that's kind of strong if you're asking them to do you a favor. You get what I'm saying?
So the letter to the credit bureau is going to be different standings than the letter to the creditor. You're going to be more soft with the creditor. But what I would recommend is read through it. And if the verbiage says that you're supposed to delete the account, I would send that copy of that letter to the info@Dispute Panda and let them know that you did not get the late letter, and if they can help you with recreating that.
So the system automatically uses the late version?
Yeah, my last client that I used, I have a late payment letter that was generated from my client.
Automatically?
Yep. So
There
all
wasn't
the
no
other
button here?
letters that are charge off came in with the proper verbiage for charge off and removal. And that those 3 accounts that she had that were late payments had the late payment verbiage on it.
Huh. Okay.
So
I got
systemically, the AI does that for you. You don't have to do anything.
okay, because I had sent the letters off, and then the lady was asking me like, what kind of verbiage were you what did you send them, you know, because she wanted the account deleted. And then after it was already in the mail, I went back through it on Zoom to show her the letter, and then it said on the bottom, I demand you to, you know, update the account or whatever, you know. And I was like, man, that's kind of strong if you're trying to ask them for a favor.
It's not strong if I'm talking to the credit bureau. The credit bureau conversation is different than the creditor conversation.
No, that was the creditor
Yeah,
letter.
that was the creditor letter. So yeah, what I would say is it just read over and make sure it didn't say to remove it. And for clarification, depending on what round you're on, because my first late payment letter is a little bit softer, but the third and fourth one that was sent to the system is a little bit more aggressive. And again, the thing that you're doing or the way that you're going, if you want to use a softer tactic, again, you would use the email the CEO, you would send a goodwill letter. That would be the method if you're trying to do a softball option. But after you've done the softball option, then yes, because if you keep selecting the letters, the verbiage is going to keep escalating because I've asked nicely and now I'm saying, can you prove it? Now you know what I'm saying? It's not going to stay in the same please help me tone.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I tried to be simply, you know. I tried that. But
Right.
yeah, I would say if you have you already done the goodwill letter?
No, I haven't done the Goodwill. I haven't gotten a Goodwill letter because I didn't know where in the world you find the CEO email
So
address.
you can do the goodwill letter and then you can send the letter to the CEO, but the goodwill letter is in the static profile. So you
but
would
yeah,
save, you would
go
save
ahead.
you would save the account that you have like on the dispute. So if you're if I'm only doing a goodwill letter for CarMax because she was late there, I would only be saving the CarMax profile, hitting save filter, and then going to the attacks, and I would only be printing off the goodwill letter for that specific creditor.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Yes.
after you do this letter, then you would create an email. You would find the CEO's information, and you would send the email to the client for the client to send the email off to the CEO.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Hey y'all. Hey consulting with JC. What questions do you have? Hey Stevie.
Hi, how's it going? So I've had
Wonderful.
the software for a while now. I've been using it for about a year now. So I guess like my question is, I recently just got this VPN. I recently got Pro. And I recently have been converting all of my clients to Credit Dino. So I guess what my question is can you show what doing a creditor dispute looks like? Because I haven't really been able to do that yet for a client with Credit Dino.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess just a small follow-up question. If you had any like tips or anything, like I really just do everything kind of like directly to the script, so exactly how it is
Mm-hmm.
on the little
The
excuse.
flow. Are you talking about the chart?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you
using
should
like the
follow the
little,
guide. So
yeah,
that's
I'm
good.
using the more like updated one though.
Uh-huh. This is the updated one, Mello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did
Oh,
I
you're
could tell.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
So
the Punch of Fury. So to get the disputer, the creditor letters, when you come over here, you would, depending on if the option says handwritten or not, you would click the handwritten button and then click the generate creditor letter button. And then you just select your letter and that's it. So like if we were doing it that way, we would click here and then confirm.
so it'll like just so for example, like what is one of those creditor letters consist of? Oh, you gonna do it. Oh.
So I can't open the letter just because it has someone's personal information in there.
Got you,
But
got you,
it
got you, got
would
you, got you.
download, it would do the attacks that are supposed to go to the credit bureau. And then
Right.
it would do the attacks that are supposed to go to the creditor.
Okay, bet. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So there's not an extra step. It's literally just clicking one extra button.
Yeah. I
And if
guess
you
I
do
just
it
gotta
all
like
together, it's all free.
yeah, I recently just got it. So I guess like I thought I had to do maybe like an extra step, but no, that's real simple.
Yep. We like to keep it simple over here. So so if you were doing static letters, you would just click the regular button. But if you're doing any of these options, or even if you're using one of the old plays or whatever, like one of the old guides, and you decide to use the paralyze and touch, you can select handwritten if you want to. You don't have to. You can hit generate creditor letters, and it will automatically generate the letters for the credit bureaus and then one for the creditor.
That's perfect. I have one more small question.
Yeah,
You could just pull up like the flow real quick again.
the new one. Yep.
Yes, thank you so much. So, I guess my question is, so recently I haven't been getting any stall letters. I kind of just get for example, like your normal typical verified letters. So I
Mhm.
noticed that now in the flow, it tells us when to submit a CFPB complaint,
Yep.
which was awesome, by the way. I guess my question is, which probably isn't related to the software, but
Mhm.
when I do CFPB complaints
Mhm.
from clients, they automatically get closed. I know it's off topic, but any advice on that?
I don't normally do a
I,
CFPB complaint on an open account.
I can give a recommendation on the CLPB.
Okay, go ahead,
With
Marcus.
the CLPB, you need to use a VPN uh to prevent them from being closed out.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me either,
It doesn't,
unfortunately.
because I
No.
had the same problem. Then the only other thing you can do outside that to have the to manually call the number and have them manually submit the input
Yeah,
over
so
the
what
phone
I
over the phone.
started doing was I started getting my clients like on Zoom and then remote controlling their laptop so that I could submit it through their laptop, but it'll still close. I'm assuming it might just be the verbiage I'm using.
That could be it too. I don't, I have done CFPB complaints, but my accountability partner does that for me, so I can ask, and then, on our next call, I'll see what tip she has for me when it comes to the CFPB complaints.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Okay, so hello, I'm new here. I upload a license and bank statement. When should I upload the Social Security card with a tax? How do I fix that before it reaches the creditors? So just to clarify, hold on, let me open up my little thingy here. So just to clarify, you only are required to send proof of identification and proof of address. The Social Security card is optional. So if you've already sent off the letter, there is nothing you can do with the fact that the Social Security card wasn't there. But again, you only are required to send proof of ID and proof of address. So if your driver's license has your current address on it and it matches the bank statement that you uploaded, you have checked both of the required boxes. You do not need to use a Social Security card, if at all. It's not required. I normally use all three if I have it, if the client uploads all of them for me, but it's not mandatory. Great question. Why do the bureaus reject every single one of my letters with stall letters? Are these letters being detected and flagged? I'm not quite sure, but my question would be, have you gone and responded to their stall letters with a stall response? Because if you go into static, you can select the stall letter. You would put the date of the last round, and you would take the stall letter and the last round. So if I'm at a tax 6, I would take a tax 6, put it together, and then mail that document to the credit bureau that is sending out the stall letter request. So there is an answer to the stall letters from the credit bureaus in the static forum. And as long as you have at least $1 in your balance, this static letter is free. If you guys have the pro, which you do, you can literally put the downloaded file here, put the date here, and then when you hit start round, it will generate the letters all together. So you don't have to print and then, excuse me, come back. All of it will work together. Great question, Stevie. Any other questions, guys?
So with that, so you have to use the last attack round with the stall letter
That
or
is
the
what's
stall letter
recommended.
response?
That is what's recommended because they haven't done anything with the last letters you sent. You sent the letters out. They said to you that we believe that you're working with a third-party company. We just want to protect you. We have done nothing. So you're going to send the stall letter and resend the request that you had so that when they get it, it's a full packet of them knowing what to do.
Okay, and then we have to wait either for a response or the full 35 days again
You
after
wait
sending
the
that.
full 30 days. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Great question. All right. Any other questions, guys?
Can I ask another question?
The floor is yours.
Um, how do you? I'm having a problem with this one client with a bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
What is there any tips you can help me out with without? I mean, tips you can help me with.
Have you used the bankruptcy court letter already?
Yes.
You've used a bankruptcy court letter, and have you gotten responses back from the bankruptcy court?
It's verified.
Well, the question is not if it's verified. The question is, are they, so the question that I normally ask the bankruptcy court, so I do send this letter and I have another letter that I send to them and it directly asks them, do they send my information to the credit bureau? That's the letter I ask the court. Is it required for that information to go to the credit bureau? They will then respond to me, no. And then I can leverage that letter. But you're saying you've already done the bankruptcy court. You've checked Pacer. And what attack round are you on right now for that client?
3.
Okay. The other letter that I have used for the bankruptcy court is the paralyzing touch attack. That has
Yeah.
been very helpful. Now, again, bankruptcy is a little difficult. Sometimes they come back and they respond back to me correctly, but yeah, the bankruptcy court letter is what I have used. The other thing that I've used is the paralyzing touch, specifically for my bankruptcy clients. I normally do that letter in round 6.
Okay, so it takes around 6 rounds to get that off.
It can take, I'm going to be honest with you, I have a client that's with me for 12, has been with me for 12 months and bankruptcy is not off yet.
Got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't guarantee anything because it all depends on the verbiage that comes back, how they respond, how quickly they respond. So I can't guarantee that it's going to be removed. And if it is a valid bankruptcy, it's possible that it can stay there. But they are very difficult to get off. I want to tell you the first person that I got a bankruptcy off with, they were with me for 18 months before we
Wow.
found. That was my very first client. I've gotten it off, but like I said, it's all hit and miss depending on what the credit bureau wants to do.
Gotcha.
Question in my chat was, on average, how long does my client stay with me? Minimum 6 months. I've had a client that stayed with me for 2 full years, but that was because we hit one goal and then they had to do some, life kind of happened and they had to do something else. They had another goal that they wanted to hit and they wanted a specific score. So when I was dealing with that particular client, they were not leaving until they got that score. But on average, it's like 12 to 18 months is the max that I have, but on the minimum end 6 months. Great question. Hey, Hunter, what questions do you have, my love?
Hey, so on the flow chart, when it shows the static letters, like on your first attack, it shows like it lists all the LexisNexis and all that. Are you supposed to send those out?
Yes.
Okay.
So you would come here and you would click on the static letters. I scroll all the way down just because it's easier for me, and then I would click it. So whatever round it's coincided with, I would select it. Now, if I've done it round 1 and then the response from the round 1 question came back and it only had, they said let's say LCI came back and said, I don't have a file, but when I'm doing round 2, I'm not sending a letter to LCI.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I haven't been sending those because I thought that was only like bankruptcy type
Nope.
of deal.
Because you have to remember that these individuals have your address, they still have your date of birth, they still have your phone number, they still have your employer, they still have all of those secondary companies are still holding the same account information that the credit bureaus are holding because they're feeding that information into the system. So you still want to go ahead and dispute with them also.
Okay, thank you.
My
So
pleasure.
you do that for every client, every round? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's not every round, my love. It's round 1 through 4. You don't do it round 5 and 6, and then you do it 7 through 10.
Got you.
So it's
Thank you.
not every round, but if you're following the chart, you do it wherever the chart has the placement. Yes.
I'll be honest, I've been using this for a year and I've completely skipped that. Like I'm like, this is the first time
So let me clarify.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
This
doing
new
it right now.
flow just answered it. So let me explain. So this was the original flows that we had. It did not tackle the secondary bureau's information. So a bunch of people were coming for the free Dispute Panda and for the Pro that were asking how do we attack or when do we attack the secondary bureaus? So when we updated the attack round, we then included the information for the secondary bureaus to help to answer that question as to when do I send it and when don't I.
Got you. So you would just click them all, like for example, you do the round and then you would just click them all just like you just did.
Yep. So I would do the round. And so let's say it was, I just finished doing the round. I clicked this, I hit start. It's going to give me the letters for the credit bureau and the creditors. And then I would come back into the software, click static letters, go ahead and click all these boxes and then hit submit. And then it will generate the static letters like how you see here.
And those are all individual letters, right? Like they'd all get
That is
named
correct.
individually.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So like right here, there's a total of 19 letters. I'm sorry, 9 letters. And if I want the system to mail it out for me, I'll just click mail out and it can double-sided or single-sided. Yeah, I do double-sided because I'm cheap. Look, I gotta keep my overhead low. No, I'm joking, but you can select which option you like and it will generate the letter. So each one of these letters are going to that individual credit, secondary credit bureau.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I think that's gonna help me so much.
Yeah, so you don't want to just, because you have to remember that everybody's keeping the information and being in our business. So you wanna get and challenge as many places as you possibly can. So great question.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Anything else, guys? You guys are awesome.
I have another question.
I have an answer.
I know I know you had said a while ago about the training and stuff like that. Y'all were changing it. What are y'all gonna change it to?
I said a while ago that we're changing the training. What do you mean?
You
The
had
only change I know is I'm on here now.
oh,
I think that's the only change I know.
I thought you said by 124 something was.
Yeah,
Put
that
it in
was the
the pro.
difference because before with the pro, Dominique was in charge and was hosting the pro calls. He's no longer hosting the pro calls. It's now myself and David and JM.
Oh, so that was the change.
That was the change. The only other thing that has shifted is the pro people previously, when you signed up for pro, you got the CRBB program, the credit repair blueprint program, business blueprint program. No, that's no longer being given out as a 1-1. So the only changes are you have me and David and JM to harass you on Thursdays. That's the biggest change. Dominique does not no longer comes in on those days.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But great question. I mean, if there's more, I know that we do beta testing. So if there's more flows or more information or anything that is like updated, we will bring it to the pro call and let you guys know as well. But right now, that's the biggest change that happened come 1-1.
Okay, and
go ahead. What was your next question?
I was doing a form on the pro, but I use my own. I have QuickBooks, so I use my own payment processor.
Okay.
It wouldn't let me do the form unless I created a. It said I had to create a payment thing to go with the form, but I just needed the form to send the people so they can put their information in so it go into the system. I don't need the form and the payment thing together. It wouldn't let me do it separate, if you understand what I mean.
Are you talking about like, are you saying that you needed a sign-up form, not a payment form?
Yeah, because in there it had a form where you can create a form for sign-up. And then when I tried to, create it, it wouldn't let me create it because it said I had to do a billing plan or something like that.
Correct.
Yes.
Right, because in the system, in the system, it's only having a billing one. I would say send that request to info@DisputePanda that you're just looking for a lead generating form or like a processing form so that your people can fill it out and then they can automatically be entered in the system. You may have to use, from my understanding, the way to do that would be Zapier. So you would have to create the form somewhere else, have Zapier link it together so that once they complete that form, Zapier goes in. Because what I'm understanding that you're saying is you're not wanting to create a payment form in the system. You're wanting to create a customer lead form. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, to where all that information and everything, they put it in the system and I just go behind and upload the documents or whatever.
So that's what Kong Automation was doing for the pro people. With Zapier, you were able to create a lead generation form. When they filled out that form, Zapier was the middleman, or Kong was the middleman that sent the information over to Dispute Panda so that they can talk to each other. Dispute Panda does not have that capability by itself. The only form that it gives you is a payment form. So if you're wanting to create a lead generating form or a sign up form, right, for clients to sign up and then it enters into the system, with the Pro, you can do that by using Zapier, but the system does not have that form capability right now.
Got you.
Great question.
Can I ask you a personal question? How do
Yeah.
you do it?
Huh?
How do you do it? How do you tackle onboarding a new client?
So I have the connector system. So I have a lead form and it's linked so that whenever that lead form is, or that sign up form is filled out, Zapier then tells the system that it needs to input that client information, and then it sends all the information out for me.
How do you do that? I mean, like, where do you go to do that?
So
Do you use
have to
Chrome?
have Zapier, and you would have to have a separate system. So I have an email sequence system that is not included with Dispute Panda. So when my clients sign up with me, there are triggers that I tell the system. So you're asking me how to do it. I'm telling you, you have to have Zapier and you have to have a system that you leverage that does the email sequence for you, or you can use Google Forms. You can have create a form on Google, and that way you tell, when you go into Zapier, you would literally tell Zapier when this form is filled out, right? You put the Google form in Zapier, and then you tell it once that form is filled out, then you as Zapier then need to go ahead and connect to Dispute Panda and load this client in as a client. So
Got you.
I have the form, Zapier, and then Dispute Panda. That's how I was able to connect the two.
Got you. So you said an email thing. What you using, like MailChimp or something like that, and then a form?
I used to use MailChimp. I use Benchmark. Just because I found it a little bit more user-friendly than MailChimp, but you can use Constant Contact if you have Go High Level, if you have Kong, all of those softwares do the same thing.
Okay, so you use an email, a form, and Zapier.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're a Pro customer, Kong Automations is $99 a month. I do believe are we still having the discounts, JM? Let me know in the chat. I believe they were giving a discount like 1 month free, and then
20%.
so I know you said you had Kong Automation, right? So in essence, when you're asking me how you would do that on Kong, you would go into Kong and create an actual sign up form or a lead form. And then in Kong, you'd be able to tell Kong that once that form is filled out, it then needs to do whatever you want in Dispute Panda. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have the Kong, when you're saying which one to use, I personally had already had my benchmark set up. So I'm having my Kong built out as well, just like you guys are doing. But I already had benchmark for the email. So I already have my landing page or my sign up form from benchmark. And then I use Zapier so that once that page from benchmark is filled out, they then get put into the system and they get put in an email sequence that then sends them information every 7 days.
Got you. And what do you use for a secure process to get the driver's license and the personal?
The Pro already does that for you. So once they're generated in the system, the Pro sends out an email to them for them to go ahead and upload their documents. You follow what I'm saying?
I've never seen that.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have a client, so let's say if you were doing it as a client, if you click the new client, right down here at the bottom, it says invite client to safe client access. So once you load the client in, you can click that option and the safe client access will send an email to them. And in that email sequence, when you guys were here, your affiliate links would show up. So hold on. So your affiliate links would show up on the client portal. Your business contact information shows up on the Safe Client portal. All that information is available. But you have to click that option once you have enrolled the client.
Yeah, 'cause I had tried that. I don't think I had used it the right way, but I'll look at it again.
Okay. So yeah, the email only goes out if you have Pro. If you do not have Pro, no email is going out, y'all. But yeah, as long as you at once you so like for me, if I have just had someone that booked a consultation, so they're really just the lead, and then they commit to actually being a client. Once when I'm on the phone with them collecting all their information, I would then send this email link to them, and it will literally send them an email that it has their phone number. I think JM is sending me something. Hold on, let me see. Here we go. And this is what it looks like on the client's end. So they'd be able to upload their documents, they can send messages, they can do everything once you send that secured client access to them. Thanks, JM. Let me go ahead and put this over.
Thank you, Raquel. You're the only person who's been able to explain this to me because the functionality of signing someone up should be in Safe Client Access.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's where it's at. Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the onboarding should be in Safe Client Access too. We just put an email and then just send. You shouldn't have to do all this like Kong and all this crazy stuff.
So no, that's what I'm saying. Kong is only, so his question is specifically about a form. So I want to
Right.
make sure that we're clear.
Yeah.
The Kong automation is specifically helping you for funnels, marketing, creating pages and stuff like that. But when you are in Dispute Panda and you have loaded a client in, once you click that button that says invite client to Safe Client Access, you're done. They're
Okay.
getting that onboarded. You don't have to do anything additional.
So not that it's not a lot of work really, but
Yeah.
you couldn't just email them just to the Safe Client Access where they can enter all of their information like their social and all that other stuff in there themselves.
That's what you're doing. So no. So I see what you're saying. It doesn't give you, you're saying where they put their own name.
Yeah,
their
they type all that in. You know,
The only way that you would do that is if you have the sign up form. You follow what I'm saying?
yeah.
So if there is no sign up form, then you can't have that as an access. That is what Kong allows the system to do. If you're literally just talking to the client, like how I'm talking to you and we're having a consultation, then I'm putting your information into the system and I'm selecting a safe client access while we're on the phone.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And that does, and that's how I do it. But I'm just thinking it'd be nice to have the functionality of just sending an email that they just sign up and it's all secure and that's it.
You know what? I would say, JM, do you know if we're gonna go live with that? Let me know if that should be like a question that we send to. I see what you're saying, where like you just have a form in the system, but I think because of the fact we have not built out that section yet, again, this software has been growing based off of the feedback that you guys are giving us, right? So we want to make sure that once they're putting one thing in place, that the system can hold that before they put the next thing in place, right?
And that
So
makes
I
sense.
do know, I do know that they're looking, because one of the things that I said to Dominique when I was talking to him about Dispute Panda, I was like, listen, I have my email curation, I have my text message, like I have everything curated on this particular system, right? I'm not going to leave this system knowing that all my stuff is already here, because for me, I'm a little bit more seasoned. My clients are already used to this level of touch points, right? Between the text and the email. So that would be a deal breaker for me. So he's already written that down. And that's why for right now, until the system can handle all of that with all the other requests that were urgent requests from CROs, that's why they partnered with Kong to give you guys, to bridge that gap, if that makes any sense.
That does make sense. And it is, yeah, I can see why that feature is not super important. But yeah, thank you. Guys, one last question. You've been so helpful I forgot it here. But basically, it's basically more about onboarding and then the stall layers. Everything has been stalled. Everything that even the personal information requests, everything's stalled. So it almost seems like you should send the stall letter before you even send your initial letters out.
So I tell everyone that books a call with me, when they book a call with me, they get I do an introductory letter. So my letter, before I even send out a first round of attack, is a letter that basically says, here's the legal laws that says that you can't stall out on me. Here's my ID. Here's my only name, my only address, my only everything. Everything else needs to be removed. I personally send that letter out first, and then I start the dispute process. That just has been something I've been doing since, like, I want to say I started that about 9 years ago. It was something that I found, and then I found an updated version. So that helps. Sometimes notarizing works, sometimes it doesn't. You can still get stalled out. But when I started doing, I call it an introductory, where I'm making an announcement that I'm pulling up on you. So I do create that letter. I have heard some people say that they send the stall letter out first by itself, and then they start the round of disputes. So you can definitely give that a shot. But great question. Yeah, they like to stall on us, honey.
That's true. Thank you. You've been very helpful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, is it Julian? Sorry,
Julian,
how can
yeah.
I help?
So I have Dispute Panda Pro,
Mhm.
and I've been having a lot of problems with clients with safe client access.
Mhm.
A lot of times they're saying there's glitches in there. They're not
Mhm.
able to move forward. It's freezing. They can't upload documents. Sometimes they say they upload the documents, but it's not reflected on the admin side.
Mm.
And then I know some clients are just getting really frustrated with it. And what else? There was a few other things, and it got pretty bad over the past couple weeks. And I wanted to see if anybody else was having this problem on the call. If maybe I have the wrong settings set up. I know.
So I have some questions about that. Your
Yeah,
clients that are trying to log into the secured client access, are they doing it on their cell phone or their laptop?
laptop.
And they're still having problems with the laptop? This is what I would ask you to do. The client that is having the issue, have them do a Loom video recording. It's called loom.com.
Mm-hmm.
Have them record them uploading the document and all of those things, and then have them send you on Loom. It has a little like shareable link. Have
Mm-hmm.
them send that link to you, and you send that link to customer service. Like, you literally put in a customer service work order and say, this is what the client is having a problem with. Because
So
that
I,
way they can see it on their end. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, no problem. So I did it for myself. So I created like a fake client and
Uh-huh.
wanted to see what they were going through, and I recorded it. And I saw like, yeah, they're like, it would freeze up, glitch. I wouldn't be able to get through like the agreement. Like when you would press accept, you wouldn't go anywhere. Then I would always have to refresh the page in order for it to go through. And I sent it in probably about a week and a half ago. I haven't gotten an update yet, but I wanted to see if there is any update or anybody else was having this problem. Because I have about like 10 clients who are just kind of backed up right now. And and I tell them like, hey, refresh the page. Or sometimes I even said like, well, you can't upload it, just email it to me and I'll upload it on my side.
Julian, drop your email address to JM so that he can have back office look in at it and go ahead and respond to you. Okay, my love? But to answer your question, anyone in the chat, have you guys been experiencing the same thing? I haven't. So definitely send. Okay.
I had one situation that was similar. They used the onboarding form and like the safe client access, and they uploaded documents. But then when I looked at it on my dashboard in Dispute Panda, some of the document was like halfway cut off. So
Oh, that happened to me too. That happened, yeah, literally just yesterday too.
Okay. So JM grabbed your email address, so we'll go ahead and follow up with that to see how we can correct that moving forward. Thank you for that feedback. Anything else, guys? I'm sorry, I'm smiling because I heard my husband's voice, y'all. Sorry. How do we do coaching? Do you mean coaching with me? Is that what you mean? Oh, great question. Great question. Let me drop it in the chat. And I promise you, I'm gonna get my life together and get a QR code, y'all. I promise, so that I can just have it up and you guys can scan it and book with me. So I just dropped it in the chat. Any other questions?
Who do you recommend to use for like calendar booking?
I use Pro Booking. I can definitely drop their link in the chat. I personally like low overhead things. So I like my Pro Booking. Before I used Pro Booking, I did use Calendly and I used Acuity. The only thing that I think I have a problem with personally with Pro Booking, and it's something that I have to get better at, is I have to remember to do like one client import. So like let's say like you guys were to say to me, oh Raquel, I want to meet with you at such and such time. I don't always remember to go in here and put it in. So that's normally the problem, that I will double and triple book myself. I don't do it as often now because I do have an admin that syncs my calendars now for me. But that was a big issue, was when I would have conversation like off the fly and not remember to block that time, because I have my calendar set up where I have a gap in between calls for at least 15 minutes to give myself that space. So I personally use Pro Booking. I like it. You can link it to Stripe, you can link it to PayPal. You can link it to Stripe, you can link it to PayPal. So if you want people to have paid consults versus free, you have all those options, and it's integratable with Zoom. So I can definitely drop that information.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
So I complete the form on Dispute Panda to add a new client, send them the safe client access. As they're going through onboarding, uploading all the documents, are they able to change like let's just say I put everything in, like there's social security number in, just to put something that I didn't know it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Also put in, I forget what else. Are they able to change it on their side, or can I only change it on my side?
That's a great question.
Because I think I ran
JM,
into a problem where they weren't able to change it.
JM, do you happen to know the answer to that, darling? For transparency, I do know it can be edited. I'm not quite sure if the client can. I did go ahead and just ask JM to answer that question, because this is why we're here. So the question was, can the client, so let's say I loaded the client in, I was talking to them, and in talking to them, I just put 1, 2, 3, 4 as their social security number. When I send them the safe client access, would they on their end be able to correct the social security number if it was wrong, or would I have to correct that information? Because I know that we can correct it on our end, but can the client correct it on the safe client access side? That's a great question. So once JM responds back, I'll let y'all know. That's a great question. I normally collect that information over the phone and I review it. So I don't know if it's editable there. No, so his response was no, the client cannot edit their profile. So you would have to edit it.
Got it. Okay. All right, that's good to know.
My pleasure. My pleasure. See, I was like, I don't think so. But I don't ever have, I've never had that issue on my end, but great question. All right, anything else, guys? Jackie Brown is awesome.
Can I ask one last question? One last question.
Absolutely.
You know that when I've been a member for a few months, I'm slowly, only now with you here tonight, figuring out what Pro can do or how it works really well. But the thing is that in the beginning, they really pushed the CBB, this training program. Do they not have that anymore? Yeah, do they not have that anymore? It seemed really good. I did the first class, but
yeah, so you only had it until 1/1 of 2024. If you didn't utilize it, then no one is getting it. So If you had it, have you gone in to see if you can still log in?
I haven't done it in the last week, so let me check. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say check to see if you can still have access. From my understanding, the new people that came on in January, they don't have access to it at all. So if you still have access, you're able to still go in and look at it. If not, I know that Dominique says that it was going to be taken off of the Pro. I think not a lot of people were actively using it.
Okay, is that something you just can get directly with him, or is that like?
So he does have 30-day CRA. That's a program. It was so basically what had happened was that he took the 30-day CRA program and basically condensed it and put it as an additive that if you signed up for Pro, you were able to get that particular feature. But it was like a limited time situation. Just like right now, the Pro is currently $1 for 14 days, right? That feature might go away. So if people weren't taking advantage of it or didn't come in during that time span, he literally pulled it as of the top of the new year.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And by the way, you guys are way better than Credit Repair Crowd, but no, you're not supposed to say
that. Child, tell somebody, because I be here Monday, Wednesday. No. Me and David.
Okay, thank you again. I'll be quiet.
My pleasure. No worries at all. Yeah, me and David be out here trying to show out for y'all, okay? On Monday, Wednesdays, and now Thursdays. We want to give y'all a good juice and tea on how to use the system and make sure it's good. One of the biggest issues that I've heard a lot of people say is they don't know how to use the secondary bureaus or when to send them. We've created a blueprint for you guys to be able to do that. I want to say the letters are bomb. I did just show on the call the other day, I showed what I got a result for a client after being with me for 45 days. Again, I'm very honest because I am not like a lot of people. I show my wins and I show my failures. So just like I posted this the other day with the 100 points, I went in and I also posted when someone's score had dropped, 54 points. But I had a conversation like when I share those types of posts with the clients, and you guys know how you can see those reports, right?
Yes.
Y'all know how y'all can see the reports? Okay. Because I will go ahead and share when I see a negative, I share the negative too. I sure do. And I'm like, but let's talk about this negative. This negative is because we affected the age, we affected the account balance. All of this information has been removed and it dropped her score. Now what's going to be the plan? And now I can educate on how they're going to get the points back as well. So that the clients that are looking at my page are getting a total package and not just I'm sending off letters. You know what I mean? Any other questions, concerns, or comments from me, guys?
I'm having a problem with the score updates. I'm not getting all three scores like a lot of the times now. Like just last week, I only got one of the three scores on a client update. And then sometimes I've only been getting two of the three. And I know I submitted that also, but I wanted to see if anybody else was having problems with that. And I'm using Credit
information
Dino
to Credit Dino? Sorry, did you submit that information to Credit Dino? I need you to submit that to Credit Dino because I have been in I've been in the free program and I have heard that in the free program, and the glitch has nothing to do with Dispute Panda. The glitch was on Credit Dino. So send that information to the Credit Dino team so that they can get it updated and pulled for you.
There we go. Okay, cool. I'll do that then. And do you think that, because you know how sometimes like if you pull it again, it's not going to show all the score boosts. I wonder if I go to Credit Dino, so like, hey, I don't know, Samantha just had 20 point scores, 20-point score increases on each of the bureaus. Can you guys be able to pull it back up and be able to view it again? Because I'm concerned, like if I pull it again now, it's not going to show those scores that I had before.
Well, remember that when you are looking at the scores, the information is saved.
I'm sorry, I meant with the marketing material where, you know, where it has the score
This right
increases,
here.
like the
So what I
results.
would suggest to do is to save that one that you already have before you go and pull the new one, just to be safe. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Like, so like
So
if this one was here and it had 20 here, but nothing here, I would hit save and share. And then when I pull the updated one, I would then be able to see this just in case, because it is possible to what you're saying, that when you
okay.
pull the updated one, these numbers don't change. So it doesn't show the boost for these two, but it would show the boost for the one that was missing.
Okay. And
Okay.
yeah, and I think I was mostly concerned with the results, like one pager where I'll be able to use that for marketing and everything.
Mhm.
I was just hoping I would be able to get all three on that one page.
Mhm.
You know.
I would say if that's what you're looking for, I would be using the report page specifically as the main, as what I'm using as a one pager instead of using the direct client.
Okay.
That might be just in case you have that happen where you're talking about the glitch that you have. Again, I haven't experienced the glitch, but I did hear about it when I was doing my Monday and Wednesday night about a week or so ago. And the solution was to contact Credit Dino and they were able to make the adjustments. But if your concern is specifically, I want to be able to pull the report and have all three, you may not, because if it pulls the report and there's no change on the first two bureaus because that change was already notated, then you would have to wait until you get it updated again and then it shows across the board. Or
Yeah.
the other option that you would have is instead of doing, when you go to the updates, instead of doing last round, do overall, so you can have the calculations updated.
Okay.
Because the
Cool.
overall will show overall what the changes have been.
Oh, it'll show like the net score increases. Okay.
It'll show the total. So remember, the last round is only showing from the last time I pulled. This is the information from November, the changes from November to December, right? It's
Mhm.
only showing that. But the overall is showing from since they've been with you up until now, what have been
Right.
the increases and changes.
You know what? I didn't
Right.
even see that tab until you closed that. No, because I was wondering why some of the total points weren't going up. The overall tab. Oh my God, they need to make that clear.
Yeah, that's why there's an overall tab there. So it lands, the landing is on the last round, but if you click the overall, it's right there. And you can download both.
Could you scroll down? Does it show overall score increase on that?
Oh,
On the overall page?
so not this dummy client, because she ain't got no other numbers, but yes, it will show the overall information.
Okay.
Great question. Great question. All right, all right. Anything else that you guys, and I'm so glad I was able to show y'all something new every now and then. I'm so good to help y'all. I just be so excited. I'd be so excited. So yeah, so as you can see, like this person's I've only had one, so there's not a history as of yet for us to kind of update and shift. But when you do, you can click the overall option. And then I personally love the report tab for the overall page. Like what, because to me, I don't give a darn about these right here. When I can show 30, 50, 60, 70, $200,000 in totality that I've deleted, that means something to me, because that means your debt to income ratio for my client is magical for them. That means they can afford more house. They can afford, you know what I'm saying, more funding, because their income is saying that they have room to breathe to get these things. So I love that. All right, guys. Anything else?
Uh, it are there any new updates coming or y'all working on for the platform? Any like anything you can tell us that is coming or y'all got in beta or something?
Nothing right now, because remember, we're still working on getting all of the previous requests that were important. So that's why the shared report got uploaded, because people were saying this was something that they really needed. So right now we don't have anything that is being launched in Dispute Panda just yet, but once we get some secret sauce, and if you guys are on the mailing list, you will get that information, and I'll definitely bring it to the team if anything new is dropping. Great question. He's like, give me some secret sauce. I don't have none of that. I don't have none of that. All right. So any other questions or concerns, guys? No. All right. So hopefully you guys got the community. JM, if you can drop the link for the community once more in the chat for everyone to sign up. Definitely, if you guys have additional questions or get some hiccups, let me know. I am going to send the email to Dominique and the back office staff on the issue that you guys are having with Kong, because I want to make sure that that's rectified in real time. So I do want to say thank you so much for bringing that to our attention, for us to be able to dive in and be an extra leg of support systems. Other than that,
Also, one more thing,
Yeah.
JM, could you add me to the Dispute Panda Pro community? I'm part of the general community, but I wanted to see how I could get access to the pro community.
Okay,
Thank
he could do that. Thank you. Hold on a second. Individuals are having issues with and haven't. So no one has heard back via email or phone call, correct?
Correct. There's no phone number. I looked on their Instagram, everything, and I tried getting in their Facebook group. Still haven't got in there yet since December 20 something. I even tried, maybe I said maybe it was the credit card. So I tried with a different credit card, a different email, and it didn't work, so yeah, I hope something happens, because I'm like, I shouldn't have signed up with 2 credit cards, because I hope I don't get charged twice.
Gotcha. All right, I will get this out right now. Any other questions or concerns before I let y'all go be great in these credit streets?
Oh yeah, I do have one question. Another question. I'm sorry.
No,
So I know Dominique showed us how you can go into, like if you are disputing a specific account, and you can go in there and change the verb yourself. And he showed us how we can save it as a template. I can't get that to work for some reason, or I'm not doing it the right way. I said that.
this is where you would go to do it.
Yeah.
Save template, add a new message. You write what you need.
Yeah. See how it says save this for future use? Then you put a title, and then what do you put on the second side? Because it won't. Maybe I'm doing something different.
Select a folder. I don't. Hold on.
See what I'm saying? I get lost in that second.
Give me 1 second. How do I get access? Sorry, Julian is asking. Is Julian the one who also asked to get added to Pro?
Yeah, that was me asking how to get to the pro community.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to make sure.
Share the file in the meeting.
No problem. Yeah, JM just said that you should be added right now.
You see this on me login? So maybe I'm not following. How do I get access to it?
So JM is already putting you in it. Does that make sense? He's literally done it right now.
So how do I, now that I'm in it, how do I go to the page? Is that through that link, or because it says Dispute Panda community? Is that the general community?
So when you get into the Dispute Panda community, if you look on the screen right now, the pro literally is an option that's there for you to select. So you're on the general once you log in, and then on the side it will say Dispute Panda Pro member only, and you just click it and it switches over to the pro.
Oh, okay. Let me see. On the left hand side. Oh, bet.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Now that makes sense. And then he said he shared a file in the meeting. Let's see.
And if you look in the
Okay,
chat, you're
cool.
already listed as a member.
Bet. Okay, cool. Thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Okay. So that is a great question. JM, since you are here with me, my love, I don't see add item. So you see what I'm doing, my love? G White, I think this was your question. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I've written mistake up here. I've written mistake here. And then when you go to the folder option, I would type in mistake, right? And you see how it says add item? You hit add item. It will now select that folder. You hit save template. And now if I want to, every time that I would be able to go, I now have that template. Does that make sense? Do you want me to do it again?
Yeah, please.
Okay, no problem. So let's say it says, this is my letter, 15G remove, right? Whatever the content is there. You would click save this message. Let's say this message is my charge off letter. Okay, so charge off. And then select a file. I want this to now be a charge off folder. And then at the top, it says add item. I would click add item and then save template. And now, if I ever need to use it again, I can click on my save template and I can select one or the other. And if
I
I
missed that item part. Yeah.
no problem.
Because I've been like, I couldn't find one, and then so I've been copy and pasting for Apple Notes to get it in there.
That's where you'd have to actually add it. And then if you wanted to add more, so let's say charge off, and you're gonna say template, and this is charge off 2. And then you can go into the folder and you can select the option now that it's there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Great
Thank you.
question. My pleasure. My pleasure. Any other questions, guys? All right. So thank you guys so much for coming. I will be here next Thursday if you guys have any more questions. I have sent the email off in real time while you guys were in the room to Dom in the back office to let them know about the Kong issue. If I'm given a direct message, I'll make sure that on Thursday I bring the information here to make sure that you guys get everything you need to be successful. Okay. Other than that, I do want to say thank you so much. These were some great questions tonight, and I'm glad I was able to play around in the system and help out. If you have any questions, you guys can shoot me a message. I did drop my link in the chat, and I hope you guys have an amazing remainder of your week. Thanks for being awesome. My pleasure.